So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to the Acosphere Weekly Instagram Live. We're happy to have you. We're delighted to have our guest today. Our guest is a serial media entrepreneur of French Caribbean descent with more than 25 years of experience in the TV and music industries. He is the executive chairman of Trace, a global broadcast and digital media company specialized in Afro-urban music and entertainment, which he co-founded in 2003. He managed to get some of the bankers to put some money in and then to buy them back. Goldman Sachs, no other than them. So Olivier was CEO of Sector A before Trace, a prominent independent hip-hop and R&B record label in France. He started his entrepreneurial journey by launching a free-to-air TV channel in Martinique at the age of 25. Besides his career in media, he is also a sought-after thought leader and social activist through the Trace Foundation, a great public speaker. He sits on the board of the think tank for the establishment of the French Foundation for Memory of Slavery. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Olivier Laouchez. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Gilles, but you said everything about me already, so I don't know whether I've got more to share with your guests. I'll do my best.
You will definitely. Thank you so much. So on your LinkedIn profile, you describe the Olivier Laouchez brand as co-founder, chairman and CEO of Trace, ESCP Europe for your studies. Olivier, what is your story?
Okay, I mean, my LinkedIn profile is very official, very corporate. My story is just a normal guy who was born in the Paris suburbs, raised in the Caribbean, educated in Paris. Then I went to Asia, to Indonesia for my first professional experience. And then I went back to Martinique, where I launched my first, entrepreneurial, venture. It was an audiovisual production company, and eventually I created also a TV channel that is still up and running, named ATV, Anti-Télévision. And I've been always very passionate about media, passionate about expression of young people, passionate about the people. I like people, and I always like to engage with people because I consider that anyone is a kind of hero and can have a very extraordinary story to tell, to share to the world. And I try to build different tools so that I can give all these people a platform so that they can express themselves. So over years, because maybe I was, so influenced by music. When you are raised in the Caribbean, you've got all the influence of the Caribbean sound, and by the way, we are the best one in the world as far as creating new sound, from zouk to salsa to reggae to bachata to reggaeton to merengue, all this. In addition to that, you've got the influence from the American, artists, especially the Black American artists, from hip hop to R&B to gospel, and then you've got the influence of the European also continent, where Martinique is still a part of France. So I was really at the middle of all this, and I was raised also at the same time of Bob Marley, Kassab, a very important group for me that really had a very, very strong impact on my personal culture. And Martinique is also the place of France Fanon, the place of Aimé Césaire, of Édouard Glissant, of Patrice Choimazeau, all these great thinkers, writers. So, I always say that somehow we are a little bit a product of our immediate surrounding, of immediate families on different interactions that we can have with the society. And definitely I am the result of all this, and all this explain why I became what I am right now and why I did everything I did until now.
Fantastic, fantastic. So what's the biggest opportunity you have faced in your lifetime? Why is that the biggest opportunity, and what did it create in you, in your behavior, and also in your ecosystem?
I will surprise you. I will not tell you that the biggest opportunity is Trace or my previous endeavors in the business. I think the biggest opportunity is still, in fact, what I'm about to do right now with Trace Academia. We already discussed it extensively. We are at a moment of uh, development, human development status, where there is a major need for us to invest in people, because we know that the future of mankind is people. Especially when you are in Africa and you see this 1.3 billion, force of many young people, and you see all the opportunities, all the challenges, all the things that need to be done to take this continent to the next level. There's one focus where I decided to put a lot of effort, a lot of resources, which is to bring a new form of education, especially education leading to jobs, to employability, so that we can give the opportunity to all these young people that will never go to higher education, to universities, to all these great schools that most of us in Europe or in the US did. So I decided to create this platform named Trace Academia that we're about to launch. And we're going to bring to this platform the best of our entertainment expertise that is going to support education, vocational training, leading to entrepreneurship, leading to jobs, and leading to soft skills. So it's a very innovative project, very disruptive, because education is certainly the least disrupted sector of the society. And we believe that it's time now to build our own narrative, not to take just education from the big school in Europe or in the US, and to bring also our culture, our understanding of the people's behavior, of the drivers that will make our people to engage with vocational training content. So this is extremely exciting, extremely complicated, but we believe that somehow we can a little bit not change the world, but contribute to a better world.
Thank you. Yes, it's a very exciting project, and I'm sure everybody who's listening will follow through this. It's called Trace Academia, right?
Exactly, Trace Academia. So stay tuned. You will hear talking about it in the coming weeks. We are doing the soft launch at the end of March. We already managed to line up significant partners such as L'Oréal, Google, Schneider, the World Bank, UNESCO, Leroy Merlin, Mangalis, different great partners that will be with us to launch the platform, because the model is that we take the expertise for the jobs, not from the educational side, but we take it from the companies, from the corporation, from the one who are in fact designing the job of today and tomorrow. Who is better than Google for digital marketing? So Google accepted to give us money to develop a format of courses and develop a range of courses around digital marketing. So these are the type of things that will be available on this platform.
Excellent, thank you. When I think of you, your brand, the following words come to mind: storyteller, marketing wizard, driven and inspiring leader, engaging smile, innovative thought leader. I have two questions for you. What words would you use to describe yourself and why? And then what skill sets did you have to develop to get where you are?
Oh, first, I'm passionate. I'm passionate. I don't know whether you mentioned this word, but you can't do what I'm doing if you don't have passion. And it's passion for doing things for people. It's not just passion for myself or my ego. It's really passion for doing things that will somehow change for the better the life of people. And I like to have impact. We always consider that to work for just 10 people or 10 million people is more or less the same job. And you know what I think it's Warren Buffett who said, if you're gonna think, you better think big, because it's not more expensive than to think small. So I try to think big, because I believe, especially with this digital world, that you can have an impact. It's possible to have an impact. It's possible to change the life of the people. So what describes me? Passionate. I'm as well in the vision as in the execution, because vision without execution doesn't mean anything. And I'm very caring. I love people. I think that's very important, because I could never have done what I did without obviously my team, of the people that supported me, that work with me every day. But at the same time, whatever we do is for people. So we try to make sure that We are not in a bubble, very far from people, but eventually we engage permanently with our people, especially the people who are fans of Afro-urban cultures, the young people who really engage with the different media opportunities that we are proposing to the crowd. So this is how you can describe it.
Thank you for your answer. So as the leader of a global broadcast and digital media company specialized in Afro-urban music and entertainment, what are your offerings? What are you offering to us, the world, from a visionary standpoint, and what transformation shifts are the music and entertainment providing us?
I think if we spend a few seconds about the music industry, and you know that everybody in Africa, even beyond, most people are really interested, and music is the #1 entertainment, activity in the world, as far as the number of hours spent by people, being entertained. What we brought during the last 17 years is we managed to convince everybody, especially in Africa and the Caribbean, Indian Ocean, that the local music scene can be as important as the American music scene. When we started about 20 years ago, most people will tell you, oh, the only important artists are Beyonce, Jay-Z, Drake, all these, Rihanna, whatever. And eventually we tell them, okay, they are great, we love them, we've got a very good relation with them, but we believe that you in Dakar, you in Nairobi, you in Lagos, you have also the power to move the people and to bring your talent to the same level of, I would say, adoration that some people have for all these big, American stars. So, and what we did, we invested to increase the quality of the music video, we invested to help increase the quality of the music production, and we invested to bring a platform that not only will expose these artists to their country, but will take them to the rest of the world, to the rest of the continent, and then to the rest of the world. So I think that was quite disruptive. Now it seems to be completely normal. Davido, Wizkid, Sauti Sol, all these big names are normal. But I can tell you, 15 years ago, it was not the case. And when we are telling to Canal Plus, to MultiChoice, which are big distributors in Africa, you know what? We should go more local. We should create channels that are really reflecting the identities, the realities, the culture of the different regions of Africa. They will tell you, no, but you can do Pan-African things. And eventually, they realize that what works is when you speak to the people with their own language and you show them success stories with people like them. So this is, I think, a big disruption that we brought. And I think that I already described the disruption that we are bringing with Trace Academia. So these are the two big disruptions that we are trying to bring to the market.
It's one to watch. I know how passionate you are also about Trace Academia, just like you are about Trace in general. It's certainly one to watch. So a good segue to ask you, what is Trace and why is it so successful?
The way we define Trace today, we define Trace as a global platform for Afro-urban cultures on youth empowerment. And our tagline is stand up and shine. So we want all our people to stand up and shine. So in fact, we've got 3 big pillars as far as our activities are concerned. One pillar is our media activity, radio, TV, social media. The second one is our studio activity, where we produce content to feed our channel, but we produce also content for other companies, whether it's Netflix, BBC, SABC, or ITV. And the third one is the new, in fact, activity of Trace, which are the digital services, Trace Academia for e-learning. We've got Trace Plus, which is our small Netflix, very focused on our own content and Afro-urban entertainment. On the third platform is our platform, which is named Utrace Pro, which is more a B2B platform. We provide music services for artists to help them monetize their talent, monetize their work. So why are we successful? The measure of success is very relative. We are still in business, which is good after nearly 18 years. And the reason we are still growing and quite fast is because we have a very humble approach of each market, on each reality. And we want to go deep and the priority activities that we have decided. Whether it's a digital platform, whether it's a music TV and FM radio or new geography, we try to bring all our expertise and make sure also that we understand the country, we understand the people, so that our product reflects the need of these people, and we can really bring them something that is different. We always try also to maintain a very consistent, very high level of quality in everything we do, whether it's for the graphics, the packaging, the programming, the interviews, everything. We consider that there is no reason why the channel from Senegal should be less, professional than the channel that we do for France or for the UK. So we put the same type of efforts for everything we do to maintain also a very big consistency across the board for the Trace brand, which is now perceived for many young people as a very aspirational brand. And you're right, that seems to represent success.
Okay, thank you. Your slogan seems to have caught the eye of quite a few listeners. Stand up and shine. It's fantastic. What anecdotes could you share with us?
Oh, there are so many anecdotes, but I will share one because just before this call, I received a call from Elisabeth Moreno. Some of you may know Elisabeth Moreno. She's a minister in the French government. She's the Minister of Gender Equality, of Diversity and Equal Opportunity. And Elisabeth is a good friend. She was president of HP in Africa, and I met her in South Africa. And she was from Cabo Verde, and I was from Martinique. So the people from the tiny island, we come together and we try to see whether we can help each other. And one day we were both invited at the island of La Réunion in the Indian Ocean. There was a trip of the French president, Emmanuel Macron, with I know a little bit the French president because we did a few operations with him in Ghana and Nigeria. And Elisabeth didn't know him very well, and she wanted to take a picture with him. And so I went to the president. I said, Macron, please, can you come for a few seconds? I'd like to introduce to you Elisabeth Moreno, and she'd like to have a picture with you. And eventually they did a picture, and they started chatting. And a few months after, this, Elisabeth has been appointed minister of the French government. So obviously a lot of things happen in between these two episodes, but it's funny things that relations start.
Yeah, relations are incredible. I've learned so much since I've met you, and everybody that is in my life is somebody that really brings me a lot of value. And you're right, through this fantastic anecdote, things happened. We are, and this is a good segue to my next question. So we are in 2021, and yet in most parts of the world, many women with equal or better skills than men get the short end of the stick when it comes to equal opportunities, equal pay, etc. What can we as men do to contribute to the improvement of women's opportunities, whether they work in the corporate environment or whether they are entrepreneurs?
Very good question. On the reality is, in fact, it's not that complicated. Each of us somehow has got the power by his immediate action to bring to life this gender parity. So my personal example, what we have decided at Trace, we want minimum 50% of all our senior executives to be female. Done. We did it. By April this year, nearly 80% of all our TV channels are going to broadcast 50% of the content will be made with female lead characters. Done. When we produce the Trace Academia content, we have decided that at least 50% of the main characters will be female people. So, I mean, each of us have got the power to really, and his action, to make sure that we give substance to this aspiration. And eventually, we are not just doing that because it's good to do it, but eventually it's not even good. There is no other way to do it because our audience, is 50% female. So if you just have male trying to capture what is in the brain of this audience, you'll go nowhere. So I think it's very important just to reflect the world as it is Same thing for diversity, same thing for LGBT, same thing for all the different, elements that we've got in our society. The world is diverse, the population is diverse. We have to reflect that in everything we do. So on Elizabeth Moreno that I was mentioning a few minutes before is a very good, example on a role model, and also a very strong advocate of promoting more gender parity, more diversity in the French society, which, by the way, is still far from being where it will be.
Indeed, indeed. So a lot of comments. I'm not reading all of them. Let me read one of them. Wow, 50% of female everywhere. I love the way you say done. And yes, you're very action-oriented. You focus. No nonsense. As I know you, there's no nonsense. Either you are serious about something and you go ahead and you do it, or you just move on. So my next question is, the public listening is from all over the world. I haven't seen the 2 or 3 Asians that we usually have, but there are people from America, Europe, Africa. What advice would you give to those who are aspiring to be like you when they grow up, to do a career that is really similar to yours in your field?
Okay, first of all, please don't be like me. I've got enough competition, so please don't be like me. I will quote again Warren Buffett. He said, "Do not compete if you don't have a competitive advantage." So whenever you want to do something, try to be different, try to bring something that the others are not going to bring, because otherwise you will compete face to face without USPs, unique selling points, and it will be very, very competitive. So when we decided to launch Trails, we said, okay, this is a market, crowded market, congested, but there was a niche that was not completely addressed, what we call the Afro-urban, culture. And there was no really media for that. You had BT for the Black American. You had in each African country sometimes some local, but there is nothing that will capture, I would say, the diversity, the richness of this Afro-urban culture, which, by the way, it's a culture that started in Africa and that went to the rest of the world, and that blended, that mixed with some street urban culture. And eventually, this culture is extremely powerful. So my advice to everybody, don't try to imitate other people unless you've got some very serious, very strong competitive advantage.
Okay, don't try to do the same as anyone else unless you have some very strong competitive advantage. Yeah. So a few more comments. Someone says, we need more women leadership everywhere in politics and everything else. And also you have a big cuckoo, a hello from Princess Erika, who was one of our speakers before. She's in the group.
She's a legend in our industry. Huh?
She is, definitely. She definitely is. So you are often a keynote speaker. What tips about public speaking and your business skills would you give to our audience?
At the end of the day, it's about storytelling. And normally, you are supposed to be good enough to tell your story, eventually. So authenticity is great. Don't try to anticipate what you should say to the people so that they can listen to you and like you. The idea is not that. If they are here, if you are there, it's because there must be a reason. So try to just be authentic. Show your passion. Everybody has got a passion for something. If you become a keynote speaker sometime, somewhere, it's because somehow you did something that, explain why you deserve to be there. So authenticity, not that much preparation. By the way, thank you for all your questions, but I didn't have time to read them before, we started this discussion. So I hope that I'm not completely off track. Authenticity, passion, storytelling, you can mix, very corporate, dimension to more personal, more, human dimension, because at the end of the day, people always want to, engage with people. And this is something that is always a good recipe for I think, a good presentation.
Thank you. So we get a lot of love from everybody listening, so that's very positive. Thank you everyone for being here. A couple more questions. Speaking to your younger self, when you were 20 or 25, with the knowledge that you have today, what 3 essential pieces of advice would you give that young man or that young woman
Wow.
who's listening?
Okay, the first one will be you have to be patient. Things don't happen overnight. You have to build something, and sometimes it takes time. Especially for those of you listeners who are working in Africa, you know that it takes time. So you have to be ready for that. That's the first thing. The second thing is make sure that you got the right team with you, because there are not many stories of success where one guy succeeds alone. Most of the time, this doesn't happen. Third, I would say, keep the vibe, keep the passion, keep, this dynamism that was at the very beginning of your journey when you had the vision of doing something. Sometimes you will fail. In fact, you never failed. You remember what Mandela said, you never failed, you learn. But, you have to be ready and make sure also that your immediate entourage, your family, your friends are aware of what you are doing. And if possible, if they can support you, it's obviously better. But be ready to keep this, passion until, not until the end of the journey, because there is never an end to a journey. It's a permanent process, and you have to keep this fire, and because this fire is not only important for you, but all the people that are with you, that you took with you on this journey, they are looking at you.
Yeah.
So you can't disappoint them. Obviously, you can show that certain time you are down, you doubt, and that's normal, that's human. But eventually, you are the one leading, and they're expecting you to be strong, to be visionary, to have solution to anything. And but this is why also the more and more I developed my professional journey, the more I empower people. Because same thing, if everything goes to one person at the end, it doesn't work. So it's very important to clearly define the role of each person in one organization, and make sure that you give the resources, you give this tool to this person, so the person can really, unlock his or her potential, and make sure that there is no particular barriers, obstacle that he can't really manage to overcome with his own resources.
Excellent. We're coming to an end. I have one final question for you before I say goodbye to you, as I keep the public for a few minutes on some announcements after I say goodbye to you. So my final question, Olivier, is what is your final takeaway for our audience? If you had one final message to give our audience, what would it be?
I think our audience is mainly made of young people. And what I learned from these young people is that this is possible. Yes, we can do it. We've got somehow, somewhere, the resources, the different skills to make it happen. And please, 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 let us unlock our potential. Let us realize the vision, the dream we have, without putting so many barriers, obstacles to the realization, to the achievement of our dream. So this is a very important learning that I got from this audience. And this is also what I'm trying to do every day at Trace. Make sure that we unlock the potential so that all our audience can stand up and shine.
Unlock the potential so that the audience can stand up and shine. Thank you so very much, Olivier. You're such an inspiring person. I'm just happy to know you. Have a safe trip to Kenya, and we'll talk soon. So I'm going to say goodbye to you, but I'm going to keep everybody because I have a few announcements for them. So I'll let you hang up and have a safe trip. Thank you, Olivier.
Thank you, all of you. Bye.
So ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that we've had a fantastic speaker today. Olivier is changing the way we perceive music in general. He's taken over MTV on the continent of Africa, in most of Europe, and in 300 million people listen to him. Next week, we'll have an exceptional speaker also, somebody who's got a rich career, somebody who loves Africa, who is sitting on the board of CGF Bourse in Senegal, and many, many, many other things. Please come next week, same place, same time, to see another Olivier Simonet. He is a fantastic person. You will not regret it. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for saying thank you. We're so glad that you're following us. Please spread the word. Share the signs that you're getting from us, the posters, and make sure that you come every time you can. Take good care of yourself. God bless you. Bye-bye.